Hey everyone, how's it going today? It's Casey here. Hopefully you guys had a great holiday over the weekend. And don't worry, you're going to get taken care of. Probably just a miscommunication. Just make sure you keep checking that email. All right. We have people on this, the most qualified people that you can find anywhere. And that's why we are assembling of the best possible team that we can, because our mission is to help as many traders as possible. So let's go ahead and get started, and start by taking a look at the news. Let's look at the news to get started here, and let's see what we got. So today, there's holidays. So again, it's going to be a rather slow trading day. I honestly had no idea that today was a holiday until just now. Yeah, so that's that. Here I am working, and it's a holiday. It's a European holiday of some kind. For those of you in Europe, you could tell me what kind it is. I know we just had the Easter weekend, so it might be connected with that. But they also had Friday off. So just wondering how that was working. Okay, so no news. So with that being said, you want to be careful on any trades today, because trading on holidays is usually just very slow, and the price action's not great, and things can go a little wild, right? If you went back, and I did happen to look at the charts on Friday, there was just a lot of messy stuff on the charts. So yeah, a lot of messy stuff on the charts, not a lot of action, and that's just how it is. Okay, so let's also go in, and I want to remind everyone that trading is risky, and these events are for educational purposes only. So we're not doing trade calls. This is just education. It's just education. So that's don't trade any more than you can afford to lose. Calculate your risk. Be very, very, very mindful of your risk at all times. And there you have that. All right, so now let's go ahead and we'll take a look at the spreadsheet here. Remember, we were doing 10 trades. We're just doing a little 10 trade. Let me show you the power indicator first. So the power indicator, I like to look at this as well. It shows the strongest pairs, and we have a lot of things that are going strong right now. The CAD was the strongest, and the dollar was the weakest. And if you guys remember, the last time we traded was on a Wednesday, and the USD CAD was one of our better trades. We really knocked that out of the park with the USD CAD trade, and so that was a pretty good trading scenario, trading setup on the USD CAD. And so we're going to go back, and we're going to look at it again and see what we can find. We're going to look at USD CAD. We're going to look at the pound dollar. We're going to look at NZD, odd USD. We're going to look at a lot of dollar pairs today, just to see if we can find anything that could give us some clues as to how to find a nice trending pair. So we'll look at that. There's no news. It's a holiday, so we're going to do some analysis. And so with the holiday, I'm probably not going to take any more trades today. You guys may have noticed that I did have a pound dollar trade on earlier, so I'm going to pull that up. Oh, let's pull up the spread. Oh, you can't see my screen. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's the currency pair. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about gold, Muhammad. And you know what? Listen, my friend, do not ever say that it's a stupid question. Not possible. It's not possible to have a stupid question. Okay? Absolutely not. So thank you for asking the question. So we're going to talk about it. That's a great, great question. All right. So let's go ahead and let's go look at the spreadsheet, if I can find it. I just had it up just 10 seconds ago. But now it's gone, so I'm gonna have to do it again. Okay, so if you remember, we were going to be doing a 10 trade challenge, and so here's what we got so far in the 10 trades. You can see I had a winning trade, a losing on the USD CAD, a winning trade on gold, a winning trade on USD CAD, and now a winning trade on the pound dollar. So we got 6 trades in the books, and we have 4 more to go. Okay, and so right now our winning percentage is 1, 2, 3, 4 winners and 2 losers, and we have a nice healthy profit of 140. And then the cool thing about it is the risk to reward ratio. We have some very small losers here, and our winners are pretty big. And so that is one of the key things about being successful in trading, is learning how to make your winners bigger than your losers. That's really critical. The other thing is to keep your winning percentage at a higher level as well. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of a detour because I got a couple guys talking about the EFC. So we had Mr. Nutt. Mr. Nutt said that it wasn't very good. And so I reply to him and asked him if he wanted a coaching session. So if he's interested, he's got to hit me up. We'll work on that. And then we got another guy. You're welcome, Yugoslav. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. Another guy here. Let's see, Mr. Maduka, or if you're not a Mr. and you're a Miss, you know, either one. But Maduka says, for the EFC indicator, I think it's very good, but requires some patience after the signal alert. After the EFC signal, take a closer look. You will see a structural level on the screen. Now, this is not an EFC training, but for those of you guys that have some interest in it, one of the really key things is to use the power indicator before you use it. Okay, so I'm just going to briefly go over that real quick. So let me pull up the power indicator. Let's see if we can find it. Okay, so power indicator. So what you would want to do, I'm going to show you real quick because I want to get some trading, and Maduka has a good point there. You want to look at the strongest pairs, right? And so you find it, the pound, I want to look at the pound, the CAD, the Australian. So what you're going to want to find then is, we'll pull up a chart. This is the pound dollar. Okay, so here's the pound dollar, and you can see it's up. Right? And so the way that you trade this, the very best way you trade this is you find, and here you find a trade on a pullback. So now that you can see on this is a 4 hour or an hour, you go to the daily, you can see that we're moving up. What we want to find now is a pullback. So let's go down to like an hourly time frame, and we want to find when it's overextended here. Okay, so like, for example, this would be a great EFC trade. You find, it's overextended right down here right now. Okay, so now I get the indicator. I can see it's overextended. EFC's triggered. Now I want to look for some kind of price action signal, maybe a breakout right here, or perhaps a trend line break with my stops below this level. And you can see that would have been a perfect trade. Right, so the EFC is designed to find reversals within the overall trend. Okay, and a lot of people get confused by that, and we're going to work on it. I've still got more updates. We've updated the EFC probably 20 times, making it better. And I'm not even joking. The tool has been out for 3 years, and we have updated it many times every year. Came out in Yes, it's been out 3 years. It's maybe 4 years. It's been out 4 years. We've updated at least 5 times a year. And it's just getting better and better and better. And so I'm really excited about where we're going with it. And it's going to be a premier tool. So if you need some help, just don't forget to reach out somehow, some way. Make sure you're reaching out because it's going to be very helpful. All right. With that being said, guys, let's take a look at this trade that I just finished up on. You can see we had an uptrend, right? I like the uptrends, and we had a pullback, right? You can see a pullback was here, and I actually entered in a little bit early. I messed up. I made a mistake, okay? And you can see it wasn't a terrible mistake, but you can see what happened, right? So let's zoom. I've got a downtrend moving, and this is one of the reasons why we want to trade within the direction of the trend, because if you make a mistake, it's more forgiving, which I did make a mistake. So right here was my entry. I actually made two really big mistakes on this one, but one of them was, you see this pen? You see this pen bar on this breakout? Whoa, I can't find it now. Okay, right here. See this price moving into this direction? So price had faked me out. It went in, and then it came back, and then I got in right here thinking that it was going to take off. So I got in too early. Now, the good news about this is right here, it ended up being, I hit my TP right here, 45 pip target. I put my stop loss about 66 pips, and I tightened it up pretty quick as we moved in. I could have got away with a much tighter stop, but I'm really focusing on having a high winning rate. I could have got like a 31 pip stop. But in this particular situation, I got faked out. Okay, you can see that I got faked out. I got in too early. So one of the ways that will help you avoid fake outs is if you're a little more patient on the entries, right? So I should have waited to the MACD to get a little bit lower, and also for maybe this signal and then a pullback. So another place I could have got in, let's put my pen in here. I could have got in on this breakout right here. You can see that. Or I could have got in when it pulled back to here. So my very best entry would have been right around here, and that would have given me a very tight stop. You see that little tight circle? That would have been my stop loss, and this would have been my target. So this is why we review our trades, right? So this was a winning trade, and we can't just say, oh, yay, I won, I won, I won. I'm happy I won. It's great that I won, but I made a mistake, right? So you want to be really focused on what you do right and what you do wrong, even on the winning trades, because even on the winning trades, you make mistakes. But one of the things that did save me on this was the fact that it was the uptrend, right? That's one of the reasons why I like to look at the pound. It was on the power indicator. It was showing an uptrend move. So with that being said, where's my next setup on this one, right? Well, I'm going to keep waiting. I'm going to be waiting for it to pull back. I'm going to be waiting for it to pull back and to get in down here. Like if we come back, wherever we go, I'm going to be waiting for the pullback. And when it pulls back, we're going to take off. So if we look at the daily time frame, you can see it's still negative on the MACD. This is actually pretty solid resistance point right here. That's why I put the target right where I did. So there's a possibility for some pullback right here, but it is breaking. It broke the 50 period. So if we're trading a daily, this might be a great trade on the daily. A couple places you can put your stop loss. If it closes above this 50 period moving average in this trend line, we could put a daily trade, right? And we'll put our stop right here. Gives us a really big swing. Let's look at what that, if it closes here, we get in on the daily, that is a 200 pip stop loss, pretty big. But where could our target be? Let's look, let's zoom out a little bit. Okay, and get rid of that, delete that. Okay, where could our target be? Well, the very first target is right up at the top, right? And that is 352 pips. So that's a pretty solid risk to reward ratio, right? Very solid. If we go, and this is where the daily's a great way to trade, because you trade on the daily, you get the breakout that you're looking for, and you trade it one time. You look at it, you get in the trade, we trade it at the end of the day. It takes 10 minutes to do the analysis, and you make this trade, right? So you don't have to actually sit in front of the charts all day trading. You can just make one trade and do really well. Now, the problem with that is with a bigger stop loss, you got to have a little bit larger of an account, and that can take some time to get set up. And why do I say that? Well, because when you have a bigger stop loss, you have to risk more, right? So this would be a really large stop loss, 235 pips, 200 pips. It's going to take some time that's a big risk amount. Okay, so let's do a custom. So right now I'm risking $100, right? And this will show you what the difference is. So if we do a custom buy here using my Epic tool, and I put my stop loss right down here, okay, you see that? So now it's at 0.05, right? And my target would be roughly $150, okay? $150, and my stop loss would be 100, okay? Now, that takes you, it might take a week or so, 2 weeks. So 2 weeks to make 150, that's not actually a lot of, I mean, that's not bad, right? But if you're trading, if we're risking, you know, 5,000 or 10,000, you need a bigger account. If you put your risk at 5,000 here, and you're going to make 7,500 or you're going to make 10,000 on the trade in 2 weeks, $10,000 not bad. That's why a daily trade with a bigger time frame is better. Another thing you could do, let's move this a little bit. Let's move it right here. Okay. Now, this is another particular level on the daily chart. Okay. So let's look at what that level is. It's this daily candle and this, right? So your accuracy is going to drop if you use this, but it depends on where this closes. If it's a solid move up, it'll be a little bit bigger. But we move our stop, and you can see it recalculates. You see how it recalculates the size? It's a 0.11. So now, if we have a tighter stop, my target, right? So my stop is now 98 pips. I'm increasing my size from 0.05, from 0.04 all the way to 0.11. So I'm doubling my size. Now, what will happen here is your winning percentage will drop, but you're also going to increase your win size dramatically. So from here, I'm going to go for a possible, this would be $100 risk, and my take profit, my target would be about 150. Well, right here, if I move my stop loss to this level, my risk is 100, okay? But my take profit at the same level is now $350, okay? So by moving my stop loss and risking the exact same amount, instead of making 150, we're going to make 350, okay? Does that make sense to everybody? Hit the like button if that makes sense. So when I was talking about the spreadsheet, I was actually talking about increasing your win size. Well, one of the ways to do that is to tighten up your stop loss a little bit. And I just showed you exactly how to do that, how to tighten up your stop loss, right? And that's a really good way to do it. So the thing is, when you're doing that, you got to understand that your winning percentage will drop. So you want to very much take your time and analyze your trade. Now, I'm going to redraw this trend line just to go from here, because actually this gives us a little bit better look, right? So now the trend, and how you draw your trend line does matter, but it just takes practice. So here's a different look, right? So now we would have had our trade here, which is what I did do, but I was trading it on an hourly. So my entry was actually really solid. But my mistake, what was my mistake is I was trading it on an hourly. But right now, this would have been an entry here with a stop loss right here if we just use that. And that would have been, again, a 100 pip target. And we'd already be up about 65 pips. So that's not too bad, right? Pretty interesting way to look at the setup. Okay. So that is what I was looking at on the pound, and really some good stuff. So in the future, as we're trading this, the big way is, if I believe that this is going to be going, we'll watch it. As long as the daily candle is still got strength and it's above this. Oh, you're getting me sidetracked. Yeah, I don't know what picture it is, but it's probably like 10 years old. So I haven't updated my pick in a while. I probably should do that, but you know, sometimes we kind of like how we look when we're younger. All right. So yeah. So there we have it. That's the pound. So let's go back to this entry. I want to go back and look at this and just show you about this, again, this fake out. So again, if you're trading in the direction of the trend, which I was using this daily breakout as my guide. I knew this daily breakout was my guide. I still got faked out. So I want to really be accurate with my targeting, right? Remember, we want to really be accurate with our targeting, our entry. And I got faked out right here. So again, I knew that I had the daily break in my back. So that was a really big, strong thing for me, was that daily on my back. So, so that's why I did that, right? But it was still a mistake because I should have been more patient. But because I already had the daily breakout, that helped me make my decision. So if you're making it in a trend with a daily breakout, the hourly is not as critical, but we still want to do the very best we can because we're trying to get those wins bigger with a high win rate. The more we can do this accurate, the more we really analyze and take time, the better we're going to be. All right. So Yugoslav is talking about the pound New Zealand. Let's take a look at it. We know the pound is really strong. And this has been a trade I've been watching. As a matter of fact, I did trade this not too long ago. But take a look. Let's look at, this is a daily time frame. So you can see we have a daily trend break. And if anybody's been on this channel, you guys knows I've been watching this trade for so long. I actually first got in long down here. Does anybody still remember that? We got any OGs here when I first started doing this? Back here is when I was starting to get long on this. So was right all along. And again, I always say again, who cares if I'm right? Because I was right and I lost the trade. How, you know, it's like, it can be frustrating. I was right, but I lost the trade. So we got to really focus in on our accuracy. So so we know now that we're up. We have consolidation. Consolidation is the golden nugget here. You have to have consolidation. See this consolidation, and the break sometimes doesn't go long. Consolidation for a week, and then finally it broke. And what happened? It broke big. Boom, 400 pips. We got a week of sideways action, maybe longer. You got 2 weeks of sideways action. You got to be patient for 2 weeks, and then you get the move. And that is, you're right. The market is super duper duper frustrating. That's why we really got to time this. You know, we're like, oh, I know this is going up, but it faked me out, and then I'm out. Right. So the best way to trade on this type of scenario is wait for these pullbacks. So I want to show you here by pulling into this level. And by the way, Wednesday was a lot of fun, wasn't it, guys? Like, we really crushed it on Wednesday. And that was a lot of fun. And so that was exciting because we nailed some great trades. And let's hope we can do that again. If you're interested in nailing trades like we did on Wednesday, hit that like button for me. Because that'll be a lot of fun. Okay, so we're going to back it out into this zone, and now we're going to go into a 1 hour time frame, right? I like to look at past examples to help me come up with future trades. So I actually did take a couple of these trades. So here's what we're looking at. We have the downward trend drawn. I had this trend line drawn. I knew that there was support here. I knew this. Right? I absolutely knew this. So what do? We start doing this. Okay, we got the MACD. It's negative. We know we're in an uptrend. This is just like I said with the EFC indicator. It's pulling back, but it's overextended, but it's overextended in the opposite direction of the trend. So we know that we're really bullish and we're getting a pullback negative. It's all that's doing is it's drawing in shorts. It's drawing in short people to get them to get in on the wrong side of the trade, right? So it just keeps doing that. So we hit a new low, we hit a new low, we hit a new low, and what's it doing? It keeps just drawing in shorts. right? So we got to understand what's happening. We know that the trend is bullish, but it's not ready to take off. That's why this is a consolidation period. It's consolidating, it's accumulating positions so that they can push the price, so the market can push the price. And it's going to be very frustrating because it just doesn't go. And sometimes it does if you get a good trend, but even that will frustrate you because you're going to start wanting to go the opposite direction. So in this case, pound New Zealand, you wait for the pullback, you get in right here. There's a lot of opportunity on this. If we did take this trade, right, we'd do something like this. Okay, here would be the entry, red dot. Here's the stop loss below here, right? And then where's our take profit? Well, you could either go for a level, which would have been right here, and that might not have hit, or you go for a certain target. So let's draw our, let's draw our cursor. Let's come up with the target. So the entry would be right here. And so our stop loss would have been 50 pips, 65 pips, or yes, it will say 65 pips. And now our target right here on the entry, this is 107, right? Well, our target would have been 120, but if it didn't get there, you know, maybe you just want to hit a 1-to-1, right? It's just a 1-to-1. Well, that's a pretty easy target right here. Halfway, 65, you got plenty of room, okay? So then we just do it again. We got another drop right here. We see the price has hit. We see that nice pin bar. We get this break right here. Our entry would be somewhere in here. Stop loss right here. And so what do we have again? So again, we have, and I'm going to get rid of all that junk. What do we have? We got our entry right here. It goes 170 pips. Stop loss would have been around 80. So again, that's a 2-to-1. Right? And we're going bullish the whole time. We're sticking with the direction of the trend. So again, here's another one, right? Now you can do counter trends on these, but I prefer to do it within the direction of the trend. Why? Because that keeps me a little bit safer. It keeps me a little bit safer, okay? So, because you already saw it on the pound USD, I got in the direction of the trend. It kept me safe, even though I got faked out a little bit, right? So if let's say I took this trade, and let's just be planning our trades ahead of time. Let's say I took this and got faked out right here. Okay, well, I look back, where do I want to put my stop? Do I want to put my stop here, or do we want to put our stop here? Well, I prefer to put it down here because we have that big blue trend line, right? Remember that big blue trend line, which I'm now redrawing, making it red. So I'd put my stop down here. And we would have a little bit bigger stop, but again, it gives me some safety, right? It gives me some safety because I really care about having a high win rate. And so if I'm going to choose between a high win rate and a bigger size, I'm going to pick the win rate first and then the size later. But I also try to optimize for both because optimizing for size is going to help you grow your account faster as well. Okay, so now that's the hindsight. Now let's go back to what's happening right now. All right, so what's happening right now? We're consolidating again. So this is the hourly. Look at the daily. Daily's consolidating, and now hourly is consolidating, right? Consolidation. Okay, we have it hit a lower low, hit a low, a lower low, and what's happening? It's picking up orders. And so right now we have another trend line. Okay, this is a pretty solid setup, guys. I really believe in this setup. So let's look back and say, where do we want our stop loss? Okay, so we could put our stop loss right here. Okay, and if we get in on this break, stop loss would be 45 pips. We could put our stop loss down here. And so it's all about the planning, right? It's planning ahead. Stop loss, we got a pin here, a pin here, a pin here. Our stop loss for here would be 125 pips. And then, you know, this is the pound New Zealand. You got to remember what you're trading. The pound New Zealand can go a little bit wild. It can take off, right? It can crush 120 pips in 10 seconds. I mean, look at this. This went down 97 pips in 2 hours, right? You can just slam a 190. You could crush that in a very short period of time. So I would opt in for the bigger stop loss. Now, if we get a big break here, we got all these moving averages, we break up. There's another way we can trade this. Again, so I'm just trying to give you guys options. trying to give you many, many, many options on how to trade this, right? So we could wait for it to pop, and that's way too big. Let's change the size of that little dot. Wait for it to go like this, and then come back, and then get in here, right? Because that does happen. And the hard part with this is FOMO, right? It's FOMO. Oh, fear of missing out. If I do it, I'm going to miss out. So if FOMO is a problem for you and you're afraid about missing, then go ahead and take this first entry. But remember, a lot, and I don't have the numbers, but a lot of times it will come back to this. And it'll come right back here, pull in a lot more of these orders, because what happens is, and I'm not, you know, it doesn't happen every time, but what happens is it breaks, it comes back, and what happens? All these breakout traders, they're buying in, and you know that's what the market's about. It's buying in, and it's now shaking all these guys out. Oh no, we're wrong, boom, and then it consolidates, and then it takes off, right? And it just gets all these, it flushes these guys out, and this is the actual trade right here. These guys that held in will still make money, but a lot of them get flushed. Right, a lot of those guys get flushed. So again, looking at what is happening behind the scenes is really important for helping you with your trade setup. So that is something that we want to look at here on this pound New Zealand. I want to also take a look at the Euro New Zealand, because I've been watching that pair as well in the same type of scenario, and it's I ended up taking one trade on it and lost. I took another and I made some money. The euro's definitely not as bullish as the pound. So if you're going to pick one, you want to pick the pound. But let's go ahead and take a look. So daily, let's look at this. This is pretty interesting. Daily, I'd been watching this because I was just really excited about this move. This big move was actually better than the pound move, right? And so it's the exact same thing I just described. The exact same thing. What did we get? We got the breakout. It went long, so we got all these buyers, right? These breakout traders, and then what happens? It's now flushing them out, and it's coming right back down, right? And where did it go? Well, it went right into the moving average, okay? And so now what do we have? We have consolidation, right? It's moving lower, 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 consolidation. And so what is happening here? We actually have a pretty nice looking setup here. We have a pretty nice looking setup. With this move, look at that. What do we have? We have a break already happened. We have the MACD crossing. We have a solid level of support with this moving average. We have a solid level of support with this. And we have a solid trend wall support, right? So we've got 3 levels of support right here, right? Does that not seem like an ideal setup? It is. This is an ideal setup. Now, here's the situation though. I happen to know because I have some intel that a lot of traders were getting along here. Getting long right here. Look, this was a fake out. Look at that. You can't really see it, but that's a fake out. Traders getting long. Those guys getting shaked out. Traders getting long here, getting faked out. Look, they're getting long here, and it shot them out. So we got all these guys trying to get on this trade, and they're all right, but they're all getting shaked out. So it's not as easy as it looks. We got to be patient, and we got to really analyze and take our time and be deliberate with our decision making. So right now, if I'm looking at this, I'm going to be like, okay, how are we going to make this work? So now I'm going to go down to an hourly, okay? And it looks really bad on the hourly. It looks like, oh man, this thing is a downtrend. But really, it's just a channel, which I happen to really like trading these. We got an extra spike to the downside. There we go. And so, you know, this channel, it was the fake, remember? And actually, this was the one I made money on. I made money and I lost because I was waiting for this. It broke right here, and I got in. I got this trade. You guys can actually, let's go back to the spreadsheet and see if we can find it. Where is it? No. And I am not sure why I have a new, I have a new screensaver today. It was that green thing, and now it's this. We got some kind of update or something. Okay. I got to find my spreadsheet. All right, so here's the spreadsheet. We found it. You can see this was the Euro New Zealand, and this might not be the one. I might not have actually put it on here. Let's see. That's the hourly right there, and you can see there was my stop loss and my take profit. That was the trade I won, and that was a few days ago, right? You can see there it is. I had it, and so it's still in that same down move. I just got in really early, and I ended up making money on it, but then I got faked out. So I'm actually on this trade overall, I'm losing money because then I got faked out on this one, right? And so I lost this trade. I got in on this break. So I got in on this break here, and that's the one I made money on. Oh, this is a 1 minute chart. Never mind. Why did I use why did I use a 1 minute? I don't know. But I ended up losing on this trade. So got to be patient, got to time it just right. So let's pull this back over here, and let's go up and take a look. Yes, Linda, I can do that. I don't know how it disappeared, to be honest. All right, so now I've saved that as the default, and so we can, anytime I pull up a chart, we'll go ahead and take a look at that. All right, the other one I wanted to look at was the USD CAD. So let's do that. Let's look at the USD CAD. Now, this one has been one that I've been looking at short. Why? Because let's look at the daily first. So you can see daily, and if you were on the show on Wednesday, we actually did nail this pretty good on short. We had this 50-period moving average and went right up into it. We got a nice daily candle. We still have another resistance point up here, so it hasn't been above the 50 for a while. So if it does come up here, we do have some area right in here. We have a trade that could happen right in here. But we also have this. So we have this channel, right? You can see how prices moved, right? Moved in the channel, right? And now it's down. And so where could it go? It could actually go up here to the top of this channel. So keep that trend line in mind and just be aware of it. But right now, it weakened pretty quick. So it didn't even have enough power to get to the top of the channel. But it's not over yet because right now we've paused the last 3 days. So, you know, we're at a holiday. But now let's go look at the hourly here. The hourly trade is showing us price moving down right here, right? It has now changed directions, and we could now be on a downward trajectory, and here we had a nice little fake out. We got all those buyers. Oh yeah, we're headed back up. The uptrend continues. Boom. Well, not so fast. It actually didn't work out that way. So price has now gone lower. So now we're in a situation where we're going to look at the bottom of this trend line. Is it going to come back and come back up here? That's what I would be waiting for. I prefer at this point to take it short because let's go back to the daily, zoom it up a little bit. I prefer to take this on the short side because we're in this big downtrend and it broke a key level, right? It broke this key level. It had this big bearish engulfing candle. It faked back up, a head fake, another head fake. So it's been pulling in these buyers and it's been shaking them out. And so now we have that channel, but we also have this floor that we're dealing with right here. We have a little horizontal shelf as well as the trend line channel. If this horizontal shelf goes, we could continue the trend. But right now we have stopped, right? It has stopped the slide, and it stopped the slide on the up and also on the down, right? Because so we're consolidating. We've been in this range for a little bit. And so I think that this actually could be honest. I think it could go either way, especially because on the daily time frame, you can see that it's been negative for so long. On the MACD, it might just want a deeper pullback. We have this channel. So I think that it could possibly bounce here and continue its trend here and then move further. But I don't know what happens on trades. I don't know what is going to happen in the future. I'm just analyzing. I'm just following the trade. So right now, my favorite trades are the pound New Zealand and the euro New Zealand. I'm really liking those. And that's just something that I'm really enjoying right now. So let's keep looking here at some other stuff. Let's look at euro dollar. So anyways, be on the lookout. If it breaks, we have some nice move to the downside. If it goes up, we can go up. So either way, it's nice. But right now, the way I would trade this is wait for pullbacks to the upside. And then when we get a solid break, like this last trade would have been pure solid gold. This would have been just awesome. If we would have got in here, you could have taken a short right here and rode this thing down 53 pips, or we could have taken it on the break of this and rid it down 30 pips. Is rid it a word? Is rid it a word, anyone? It's so funny. I have some young people in my house, and the words they use is just ridiculous. Like, it's like they purposely are trying to create words that only they can understand, which is kind of funny, and I kind of get that. But like, my wife and I were just laughing because of some of the stuff that they say, and just trying to figure it out. I don't know if I was ever like that. When you get so old at some point, you're like, was I ever young enough that I was just using new words? Like, honestly, I probably was. I just don't remember it. It's funny. But I am old, and now I'm trying to make new words, not to fit in or to be different, but just because I'm old and I say whatever I feel like. All right, so enough of that sidetrack stuff. Let's go to the euro dollar. All right, let's look at the euro dollar. Wow, look at that move. That's home run stuff. Okay, I love this actually. This is great. And I just have to tell you, not to toot my own horn, but I got beat up on the euro, but it worked out in the end because I was predicting this. I just got in a little bit early. I got to work on my timing. I predicted this, and right here, this little, it's hard to see. Let me zoom up. I predicted this. I'm just so good at predicting, but I'm not good at winning everything. I predicted this right here, And I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to go. And I ended up, I think maybe got faked out here or here. One was somewhere I got faked out. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then finally it bottomed out. It picked up the buyers. Remember, I said it's got to shake people out. Well, that includes me. It shook me out, and then it finally took off. But the good news is, yes, I got beat on it. But the good news is I got my revenge. I lost a trade, and then I got in on another bounce here, and it ended up catching this big move. See, on this bullish one, I caught that. But now we got another one happening, and this is just a thing of beauty right here. It's a real thing of beauty, and love this. And so if we go to a daily, what's going to happen? Well, I think that we got an opportunity to get back up here. So I like where we're at. Again, trading, educational purposes only. Don't do what I say. Do your own analysis. Trading is risky. I'm not giving trade calls, but I do think that this could get up here. Okay. So with that being said, I really like it. I think it's going to be good. I think we're going to have a nice big move to the upside. And as a matter of fact, let's look at it on a 4-hour. I might take this trade just on this 4-hour break. We've had this. I like it on the hourly, but I'm a little late. But you see that it's breaking this. So if I did it, I'd have to have a really big stop on it. A 54 pip stop. Where would my target be? My target would be up here. So that would give me 140. So I could definitely take this trade. I would have rather been looking at this literally an hour ago. But right now it's still looking, well, I got the pound dollar. Do you guys remember that? I already got a pound dollar trade an hour ago. So that's good. So I'm not worried about it. I'll probably just hang tight and let this thing pull back a little bit and get a better entry. Let's take a look at the Australian dollar. Very same type of scenario. I do like this channel break here on a daily time frame. You can see the MACD is lower. We've got price moving in this downward channel. If we break out, we got a lot of room to move up. So again, we've got the USD CAD, the Euro dollar, the pound dollar. Now we have the Australian New Zealand. Let's look at it on an hourly, or Australian US. Same type of scenario. It really made a nice move right here. So I like it a lot. And also, if we take a look here, let me pull up my spreadsheet here for just a minute and the power indicator. Let's do that real quick. Let's pull this up and see what that is showing. So right now on the hourly, it's showing the dollar being really weak, okay? And see all these buy setups right now? And so we're going to hope that that trend will continue. And that'll be really important to us if that actually happens. So let's keep looking for that. Okay. So one other thing I wanted to look at before we get out of here, and that is the gold, right? I know you guys like gold. I like gold. I think gold is getting ready here. You see this? Look at this. This is actually, this could be beautiful. Now, how many of you guys were with me on Wednesday when we nailed that gold trade? Hit that like button. If you wish you would have hit that gold trade, hit that like button. If you want to hit another gold trade, hit that like button. And remember, this is for educational purposes only. And if you love the fact that it's educational purposes only, hit that like button. So we're on gold. And here's what I was looking at. Very similar. I saw the double bottom, and we had some different patterns that we like to talk about. Remember, we talked about the W, boom, 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 and boom. So I think we could be headed over here. I really do. The weekly chart looks like a thing of beauty. I thought that the weekly chart was just really sweet. Let's look at it, right? Why is the weekly chart a thing of beauty? Well, because it's got this cute little pin bar right here. This is some solid rejection. This is like on a weekly, this is like, don't go here, like get out of my house type stuff, right? Now, it could still come back down and get a third bottom. I don't really know. This is educational purposes only. But to me, that's sending a clear message, right? A clear message that says, let's make this thing go higher. Okay, so we're in a trend. We got the double bottom. We got the W. You know, some people call this a double bottom. You know, you got you got the bottom formation, or my personal favorite is the W. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. We got a move. So now that we have that, let's go to an hourly, and let's be really concise with this. Right? Let's be really concise with this. And remember, we are on a holiday, so that has to be in consideration. But we have oh my goodness, come on, charts. We have a little tiny trend line, but I took a couple different trades. I took this trade. Remember this one? Remember that one? And then one that you guys didn't know about, it was this one. I took this one, got in here, and I nailed that. And now I'm about ready to go 3 for 3. And I'm not predicting the future, but I believe I'm going to go 3 for 3 because I think there's another move. Now, the one thing that we got to remember is we do have this trend pretty important, right? So we're in the middle of this zone. We're right in the middle of it. So just because we broke this trend line doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet, because we're inside of this consolidation right here. We're in here. Ooh, you see that? We're in here. Ooh, we're in here. So this is going to act as some resistance. So this could fake us down. It really could. Or it could take us up. But I like that weekly chart. I like the pattern. And I still believe that gold's coming back. Do I know when? No. It could. Look what just happened. Remember I got faked out? I got faked out on the pound earlier. I showed you guys that. I got faked out. Well, look what just happened. It just did another fake, right? It just did another fake, and that was the pound, but this is another one. Look at this. This is a serious head fake, because guess what? A lot of people were taking this long, and then what happened? It came right back down, right down. Now, it did hold this level pretty solid, and now it's coming back up. So it tried. The short settlers couldn't get it down. The buyers, a lot of the buyers probably jumped off ship. More buyers came in here, and so now we have some more accumulation. This could be still too early. The MACD is not negative yet. It doesn't have to go negative, but it could go like this, right? We could, I'm always trying to think about what could happen. It could go down here and keep going to the downside. It really could. It could go like down here. Boom, 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 boom. All right, that's what could happen, right? So with that being said, guys, I like this. Again, it's trying to break right now. So should we try it? We got the break up here. We got the retest. So we got a break and a retest, and now we're going again. So I like this. Let's look at where some potential targets could be. Let's look at where we want to put our stop loss. Like, how would we actually trade this? Let's be planning it out. So let's zoom out a little bit. Let's go back to the daily. Oh my goodness. If this thing goes, we have some room. So the last time it went, it got stopped by that downward channel. Let's see what other resistance we have. We've got this level. So we have a 50-period moving average. So I would say the best target right now would be 1763. Right here, 1762. So that still gives us a lot of room. So let's keep that in mind, 1762. Let's go to our hourly time frame because we want to give it some room. So we got support here. This 200-period moving average is pretty solid. We also have support down here, right? So I think if you want to be really safe, you'd go to this next level, which is put our stop at 1708 with the target at 1762. So that gives you a $18 stop loss with a $30 target, right? So pretty good, almost a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. If you do this, if you put your stop even tighter, you're going to go with a $8 stop loss, 126 to 119, about a $7 stop with a, let's do the actual level here. Let's draw it on. I mean, the target could give us some trouble here, but I like that 1762. We got that. So let's go ahead and do our levels on it. Levels, custom. Okay, we put the level right here. And we put our take profit all the way up here. Okay, and we got ourselves a nice 329 pip target with a 84 pip stop. So pretty solid. I think we're going to go for that. So I'm just going to do the custom buy. And let's just zoom up here to make sure that the price action looks good. I could be getting faked out like the last one, but I have done my analysis. I'm willing to take that chance. We got one fake out. Now it's going again. So I'm going to go ahead and add this position. And I just went ahead and did it. Now, one thing to note here, let's take a look. I'm going to try to clean this up. Objects list. Because I want to add this onto the chart. One thing to note here is that we are currently getting our second break right here. Okay, so it still could get pushed back. Never know what's going to happen, but that's what we got. So I'm going to add this to my screenshot, and just want to give you guys a heads up too. If you're interested, I'm doing a live webinar on Wednesday, and I'm pretty excited about that. So if you want to sign up, please do so. And I don't know if is everybody here signed up for that webinar? If you are not, so here's the thing: is I'm going to invite you into our community on that webinar. And so I know some of you guys on this show are already in there, but you still should come. It's gonna be a sales thing to try to get you into the community, but I think it really outlines the importance of the community, because I'm really gonna dive into how helpful it is. I'm gonna throw that link in the chat too to sign up if I can here, but let me add this to the spreadsheet first. Where is it? Let's see if I can add that link. Well, okay, here's the actual wrong page, guys. Can't find it. I just have too many links. Oh, wait, it's there. It's already in the chat. My bad. Looks like my people were on it. Okay, so there it is. It's in the chat. Highly recommend that you guys take a look at that and get in. In the meantime, I'm going to put my trade here, gold, and we're going to post it right here, so we'll be able to see how that trade plays out. All right, guys, that is going to be it for today. And I hope you had a great weekend. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, because we're going to be doing a giveaway on Wednesday. And I'm going to be doing a big presentation. You got to get into that one early, because there's going to be, right now we already have, I don't know how many people signed up, but I'm guessing about 2,000. And only 500 people will fit in the actual training. So it's going to be, you're going to have to get there a little bit early. All right, so that is it. Please subscribe. please hit the like button, hit the notification so you get notified of all the trade updates. And after this 10 trade session is over, we're going to analyze it and we're going to continue to move forward and continue to grow our accounts together. All right. Well, thank everyone, and we'll see you guys very soon. So we still got the break happening, so looking good on that end.